You ever wake up one day, look out your kitchen window, and realize some crook just stole your whole damn lake? Yeah, that happened to me. I'm talking 40 years of quiet mornings casting a line with my grandson suddenly gone because a couple of wannabe security guards in dollar store uniforms blocked the only road and started charging folks to use public land. They slapped up a truck across the entrance like a middle finger to the whole community, told us we needed permission now, and started shaking down retirees for cash like highway bandits. You know what I mean? You work your whole life, pay your taxes, and one day, poof, your favorite fishing hole is a toll road. I still remember that Monday morning clear as daylight. Coffee before the sun. My tackle box ready. Tommy Jr. grinning in the passenger seat. 3 generations of Morgans had driven this same gravel path to Lake Clearwater, always hoping for that perfect bite. But there it was, a late model Ford, angled to block the road, 2 big guys in HOA security shirts sitting on the hood like bouncers outside a club smirking at us. No badge, no real insignia, just faded letters and plenty of attitude. "Grandpa, why can't we get through?" Tommy asked, his little hands tied around his fishing rod, eyes wide. That's the kind of confusion you hear in war zones when kids can't understand why the world's suddenly burning. Only this time, I could do something. Before I even answered, one of those guys swaggered over. "Old man, turn your truck around. This area's off limits now." Tommy's face just fell the way only a kid's can. "Grandpa, we always fish on Mondays." The other one actually laughed at my grandson. "Because your grandpa's too cheap to pay the access fee, kid. This ain't a charity." I tell you, I felt something colder than anger settle in my gut. See, after 35 years of military engineering, you learn to save the fireworks for when they matter. These clowns just made their first mistake. They dragged my family into it. I did what any old engineer would. I took inventory. No radios, no proper gear. That truck had obvious lift points. The whole thing felt like theater. "We'll be back," I told them, calm as could be. They wanted a scene, something they could spin. Wasn't giving it to them. Not yet. Tommy was quiet the whole drive home, just staring at that fishing rod like it betrayed him. He finally asked if we were really not allowed to fish anymore. I just looked toward my workshop. Hydraulic rig precision tools, a lifetime of records, and a house full of deeds and water law books. Old engineers don't retire. They just wait for the next problem to fix. "Tomorrow might be different, Tommy," I said. "Sometimes people think they have authority they don't. Sometimes you gotta teach them the difference." That afternoon, I spread every county record I owned across the table. Lake Clearwater Permanent Public Access County Resolution from 1952, deed restrictions, so tight no HOA could touch it. Federal Waterway Protection, Clean Water Act, state laws. If you're not sure who owns what, look for the paper trail. These fellas had nothing but costumes and a cash box. I called the sheriff, laid it out plain. "Someone's blocked the public access road, claims they're HOA security." The dispatcher sounded tired. "Is this an HOA dispute, sir? We don't get involved in civil matters." But I could hear something in her voice, like I wasn't the first caller. You learn over the years, patterns mean planning. This was no accident. That night, as I checked my old hydraulic system, a military surplus rig built for moving mountains, I realized a Ford F-150 wouldn't last 5 minutes against real tools. Tommy wandered in, eyeing the gear. "What's all that for, Grandpa?" I told him. "For solving problems, especially ones that don't belong where they are." He nodded like it made perfect sense. "Are you going to solve the lake problem?" "What did I teach you about bullies, Tommy? They usually don't have the authority they pretend to have." "And what do we do when someone claims authority they don't have?" "We check their paperwork." He grinned. "And if the paperwork's fake, son," I gestured to the machinery. "Sometimes you got to use the right tools to restore proper order." Every morning after that 7 a.m. sharp, those clowns parked that Ford across the entrance. By day 3, they had backup, more fake guards, a folding table, Bluetooth speaker blasting bad music. Day 4, a hand-painted sign, private property, $50, access fee, like they were running a carnival. I snapped pictures from my window, faces, plates, the works. You ever see a grown man count a cash box every time a car passes? That's not security, that's extortion. By day 5, Mrs. Davis, 70 years old and tough as nails, showed up with her grandkids. The head guard demanded $50 for a visitor permit. She protested she'd walked that path for 30 years. He just laughed. 30 years don't mean squat, lady. New management. Pay up or take a hike. Her grandkids started crying. You could see it broke her. I called 911. This is Thomas Morgan. People are blocking public access, charging fees. Is this an HOA dispute, sir? You'll need to contact an attorney. They'd built a system so confusing nobody knew who had authority. And when nobody knows, the bullies win by default. Things escalated. Security cameras popped up, not on the lake, but on our homes, on my house specifically. They wanted everyone to know they were watching. The message was, we run this place now. Even Mrs. Davis got the brush off from police. No registered HOA, no legal standing, but nobody wanted to step up. By day 11, the Williams family showed up, just wanted to feed ducks with their little girl. $50 access fee, the guard said. Each. The dad balked. You want $150 for my family to walk to the lake? The guard just shrugged. The girl closed her bag of crumbs and walked away silent. That right there that hurt worse than anything. You see a kid lose faith in kindness, it'll change you. That night I sat in my workshop, going over every angle. I had the paperwork, federal, state, county. The tools were ready. I knew what had to be done. Tommy came in, watched me work. Grandpa, are you really going to fix the lake problem? Tommy, what tells you someone's in the right? They can prove it. Exactly. Proof the right tools and knowing how to use them. These guys don't have any of that. They're about to get a real education. On day 13, the operations mastermind showed up. Richard Blackwell, tailored suit, expensive briefcase, a smile as fake as his authority. He tried to smooth talk me, show me their HOA covenant, all official looking, but no stamps, no notary, nothing legal. I laid out my own stack, 50 years of county records, federal law, engineering certifications. His smile got tight. HOA covenants supersede old agreements, he tried. Federal law outranks HOA paperwork, I replied. That was the first crack in his armor. He tried to threaten me, hint at legal action, but I could see it in his eyes. He was worried. I called my old Army buddy, now a lawyer. Tom, that's not a civil dispute. That's criminal fraud, he said. These guys are looking at serious prison time. I started gathering evidence, hidden cameras, shift schedules, every bit of their operation. Turns out Blackwell was running the scam in multiple states, using fake HOAs to push folks off their land and buy cheap for luxury developments. Serious money, serious fraud. But all it took was one guy with the right paperwork and the right tools to bring it down. Saturday came the day I'd turn the tables. I played along like I was giving up. The guards puffed up. Blackwell came with a photographer ready to celebrate. They had no idea. I rolled up in my work clothes trailer loaded with hydraulic gear and started setting up. Morning, Mr. Morgan, the head guard said, smug as ever. You moving out? Change of plans, I said. Decided to solve the problem myself. Blackwell marched over, eyes wide. What do you think you're doing? I handed him my federal paperwork, pointed to the law. I'm removing illegal obstruction from protected public property. You might want to clear your people back. Neighbors came out, phones ready. Mrs. Davis cheered me on from her porch. Deputy Miller showed up, checked my papers, and nodded. You have authority. Keep your safety perimeter. He turned to Blackwell. Sir, produce your federal permits for blocking this access. Blackwell just stammered, digging for paperwork that didn't exist. I got to work. Hydraulic jacks under the truck, impact wrenches spinning wheels off frame, coming apart piece by piece. The crowd grew, neighbors, reporters, even county officials. The guards stood there stunned as their fortress turned into scrap metal right in front of them. You can't do this, one of them yelled. It stops being private property when it's blocking federal waterway access, I said, cutting through steel. Years of engineering had taught me, don't just remove obstacles, dismantle them so they don't come back. The local news van rolled up. Sir, can you explain what's happening? The reporter asked. Community restoration, I said, using federal law and engineering precision. The truck became a pile of parts, no more blockade, no more intimidation. Kids rushed the path to the lake, families followed. For the first time in 2 weeks, the lake was open again. On Monday, the FBI showed up with warrants thanks to the evidence I'd handed over. Blackwell, real name, Black, was charged in 4 states. Wire fraud, conspiracy, civil rights violations, environmental crimes, you name it. Their whole operation crumbled overnight. Mrs. Davis threw a Freedom Lake festival. Tommy Jr. caught his first bass since the blockade and the community started to heal. We turned the truck's remains into a monument by the lake, a sculpture built by local students engraved public access, protected by citizens, maintained by physics. Truck stripped for good 2025. I figure that's a lesson you don't forget easy. The best part? Other towns picked up the story. Morgan protocols became a thing. Verify paperwork, know your rights, and don't let bullies win by confusion. Tommy's already dreaming of helping fix other places, but I told him, if you know the law and have the right tools, you don't have to be scared. So now every evening I fish with my grandson, knowing that lake belongs to everyone again. Sometimes you gotta fight for what's right with proof and a little bit of grit. Sometimes justice needs a hydraulic jack, not just a gavel. Let me ask you, if you saw your community under threat from fake authority, would you have the guts to stand up? Ever dealt with HOA scams or power-hungry neighbors? Drop your stories below. Share what justice means to you. And if you ever need to borrow a hydraulic rig, well, you know where to find me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's make sure the next generation always knows how to fight for what's theirs.